بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون.
Even we reveal the reminder, and lo, we verily are its guardian.
Holy Quran is the last book of Allah revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, 1400 years ago. Change is a universal principle. Nothing stays as it is. Weather, change, days and nights replace each other. Several nations and powers rose and fell. This planet witnessed eras of war and peace. Humans who used to walk on the face of this earth learned how to fly in the air and in space. But one thing that Allah promised will never change and is protected by the Almighty Himself is His last book, Quran.
This is only the Quran which has been given a guarantee by Allah that He is going to protect it by Himself.
The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, himself had the Quran memorized by heart. A huge number of his companions participated in the process of transcribing the revelation as it was received and also memorize it by heart.
The glorious Quran is a miracle that has remained exactly the same since the time of its revelation and hasn't changed to the slightest.
The last message of the Creator to His creation has been protected in two ways: getting it written down and published all over the world, and by getting it memorized by hundreds of thousands.
Now, practically speaking, right from the time when the Quran was revealed up to now, how this divine guarantee have been working. For that, it is very interesting to note that Allah has created two armies to protect His book. One is the army of the Huffaz of the Quran, those people that they memorize Quran by heart from A to Z, every word, every fatha and kasra, every zabar and pesh, everything has been protected and they have memorized it in their heart.
ये वो सुन्नत है कि जो कुरान करीम की नुज़ूल की इब्तिदा.
It is a religious tradition that has been practiced since the time of the revelation of the Quran and will continue till the day of judgment. So either one is an Arabic speaker or not, the number of those who have memorized the Quran by heart has always been in thousands or even millions. From young children to elders, many are memorizing the Quran with little difficulty. This method of preservation is such that in case, may God forbid, there comes a time on the Muslim Ummah that physical copies of the Quran are damaged or lost somehow, its memorizers will only take a few hours instead of days to produce a physical copy again.
दोबारा लिखने में घंटे नहीं बल्कि चंद मिनट्स में दोबारा इस किताब को ज़ब्त तहरीर में लाया जा सकता है.
You see, it's a miracle of the Quran that its language being divine
has such a structure that every hyphen, every comma, every elongated word is not only preserved in written form but also in exactly spoken form or recited form. The Prophet himself, although first recipient, would like to request some companions, I want to listen your recitation, and they will recite, and Prophet will appreciate that. Therefore, an unbroken chain of reciters have existed from first community till today.
Allah said in the Quran that I will protect and guard the Quran myself. His promise stood fast in every era, and now in the age of printing, that protection will last for as long as we can imagine. And there is no chance of any changes in the text of the Quran.
तो कुरान करीम में किसी किस्म की तहरीफ अब बिल्कुल नामुमकिन हो गई.
A Hafiz will never tolerate a mistake in the Quran. Doesn't matter if the one who is reciting is his own teacher or even if it's his own father, because he has a divine responsibility to protect that text. This is an amazing system that Allah has created, and that is how practically this guarantee is working. Now, not only that the text has been preserved and guaranteed, but its interpretation, its meanings, its tafsir has also been protected. And for that, Allah has created a second army, which is known as the army of the ulama. They keep on watching throughout the history. If anybody is trying to deviate from the popular and the mainstream meaning of the ayat of the Quran, they will stand up against him.
Unlike previous scriptures, there has not been a slightest change in the Holy Quran for the last 1400 years. Unlike previous books, which were revealed for specific nations and for a specific time, it is going to stay like this until the Day of Judgment, as it is a guidance for the whole mankind until the last day.
If we look into deeply, we will find a correlation between the finality of the prophethood and guarding of the Quran. The holy books sent earlier went through changes which were eventually dealt with, since prophethood still continued. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that the holy prophet, peace be upon him, is the last prophet. There will be no prophet after him. If that had not been the case, the Quran might have also gone through changes, or would have been damaged in various ways. However, it is one of the essentials of the finality of the prophethood that the Quran remains the same, without any damages or amendments, because if that doesn't happen, there is no prophet. Then where will the mankind seek guidance from?
For 70 years, the USSR did not allow Muslims living in that to read Quran or even to keep the copy of the Quran. If a copy of the Quran was found in a Muslim family, the KGB used to kill those people. But after 70 years, when the Russia broke up and people came out, hundreds of them were the Huffaz of the Quran. Why? Because their father and their first generation have been teaching them verbally. So it has been transmitted from heart to heart. The book of Allah does not need papers and pages and prints and publications in order to protect it. This is a divine system that God is taking care of himself.
मेरे रब कहाँ पे नहीं है तू.
Whenever Angel Gabriel used to come with a portion of Quran to the Prophet, peace be upon him, he used to memorize it. And at the same time, one of the scribe companions used to write it down.
मेरे रब कहाँ पे नहीं है तू, तेरी शान जल्ला जलालो.
Besides the Prophet himself, a big number of companions had also memorized the whole Quran.
तो ये हिफ़्ज़ कुरान पाक का एक ऐसा मौजूद
Memorizing Quran is such a miracle that it gives the Quran supremacy and distinction from the other heavenly books. With this practice, Almighty Allah has devised a flawless and very strong mechanism to preserve it eternally.
Both of these amazing methods of the Quran protection have always been successfully maintained throughout the ages by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and will be kept like that until the Day of Judgment. There are millions of Quran memorization schools in the whole world, where hundreds of thousands boys and girls are memorizing the Holy Quran. In Pakistan, also like the rest of the world, there is a big number of Quran memorization schools. You can find all kinds of Hifz schools everywhere in Pakistan, from rich and posh areas of metropolitan cities all the way to small towns and villages, where the boys and girls of various backgrounds are trying their best to achieve the honor of the protector, the Quran.
The word Quran itself indicates that the recitation of the Quran is continuous and never ending. There has not been any book in the world that is read as frequently, nor there would be till the Day of Judgment as the Quran.
ये तासुर काफ़ी हद तक अब दम तोड़ रहा है कि कुरान पाक को
Perception that the practice of memorizing Quran is limited to only a specific social class is changing. Nowadays, it can be observed that during morning drop-off time, lots of luxury cars can be seen, making it evident that even wealthy and affluent are encouraging their children, sons and daughters alike, towards memorization of the Quran. The university where I teach as a faculty member in Department of Religious Sciences, I come across many students who not only belong to upper class, but are memorizers of Quran too.
कुरान पाक के हिफ्ज़ की तरफ वो ला रहे हैं और राग़िब कर रहे हैं. अब लोगों को ये बात भी मालूम हुई है और इसकी वजह से अब लोगों में
People are now realizing that if they want their child to be successful doctors, engineers, scientists, or any professional, it is important that he or she has a sharp mind. Memorizing the Quran is not only an act of reward for the memorizer or the parents, but it also sharpens an individual's cognitive learning process.
कारकर्दगी है वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी.
किसी भी बच्चे को कुरान पाक हिफ्ज़ करवाना. Indulging a child in the process of memorizing the Quran is not something a person decides one day and commences it. It requires a planning. In my case, I gave my son preliminary education on Quran at home. And after he completed his schooling, till 5th grade from government school. He was given special leave from school for memorizing Quran.
लेकिन इसके साथ कंडीशन ये है कि
But with this is the condition that they have to give annual exam just like every other student, especially of English, Urdu and science.
पांचवी के बाद हमने 2 साल की छुट्टी. After that we sent him to a Quran memorization school. कुरान पाक हिफ्ज करने के लिए.
ये कुरान करीम का हिफ्ज हो जाना.
A person being able to memorize Quran is a blessing upon him from Allah. I have recited the whole Quran in Tarawih prayer for 55 years.
सुनाया है मैंने मुसल्ले.
After graduating from 5th grade, when I went for the Quran memorization, everything was new for me. Daily schedule, language, lifestyle, and especially being away from the parents. It was all new for me. There, they used to wake up at Fajr prayer. Until 8 a.m., children used to recite the previous lessons learned to their teachers. About 8 to 8:30 a.m., it was the time for breakfast. After that, classes would resume and continue on till 11 a.m. From 11 a.m. till Zohar prayer, we were given a break to take a nap. From Zohar to Asr prayer, we used to revise our already memorized portion of the Quran. From Asr to Maghrib prayer, we had playtime. Most of our day was dedicated to Quran memorization, apart from 11 a.m. till Zohar and Asr to Maghrib. After Maghrib, we used to reiterate the lesson that we were supposed to recite the next day. And right after Isha, we were scheduled to go to bed. The atmosphere was entirely different for me. But since I was mentally prepared for this, it was not that difficult for me to get adjusted. I completed the memorization of the whole Quran in a period of a year and 3 months.
और मैंने वहाँ से 1 साल 3 महीने में हिफ्ज कर लिया.
हिफ्ज करने के बाद उस कलाम पाक की बरकत से जिस तरह उसका जहन खुलता है, ये एक ऐसी चीज़ है.
If we analyze how sharp the mind of memorizers of Quran is, or how with the blessings of the Holy Quran their cognitive skills improve, it is a clear shift that we can notice ourselves. We don't need any scientific evidence for it. I have witnessed this personally myself. After 6th grade, when I went to take my child from school, as he was going to start Hifz, his principal told me that they have seen many children who rejoined school after Hifz having better learning skills. As compared to their counterparts, they learn things significantly more quickly.
कि वो बच्चे बहुत जल्दी स्कूल में जो कुछ उनको पढ़ाया जाता है उसको पिक करते हैं.
उस वक्त हमारे लिए ये बड़ी परेशानी की बात थी कि बच्चे ने 2 साल. After that, we were worried. How will he cover the curriculum of 2 years? However, to our surprise, he not only covered the 2 years syllabus in a short span, but his cognitive skills were improved immensely. Even today, he outshines in his class, and many of his classmates come to him to seek guidance in education. His understanding of subjects of physics, chemistry, and mathematics is better than his counterparts. Even his teachers remain astonished that how he manages to do so. Mashallah, it has been 7 years that he recites Quran in Tarawih each year. आज माशाल्लाह 7 साल हो गए हैं कि वो हर साल तरावी में कुरान पाक सुनाता है.
हमने ये देखा है कि ये बच्चे जो हिफ्ज करके आते हैं अमूमी तौर पे,
We have observed that the children who have memorized Quran by heart are relatively better disciplined. We all know that a person who is well disciplined is bound to succeed in any sphere of life. Secondly, their post-Hifz memory retention rate becomes better, which helps them in their academic performance after rejoining the school.
उस लिहाज से फिर इनके एकेडमिक परफॉर्मेंस भी नुमाया तौर पे बेहतर हो जाएगा.
This is an amazing phenomenon in which everyone is trying to achieve this task with a sacred desire and deep devotion.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى
कुरान मजीद जिसको हिफ्ज़ करवाया जाए बच्चे
Whosoever is memorizing Quran should be taught about its significance too. The love for the holy book, realizing its supremacy, and the kind of honor the person is getting by becoming the keeper of the Quran by heart is a blessing that should also be communicated.
समझना चाहिए कि क्या नेमत है जो उसे हासिल हुई है
हिफ्स तो हो जाता है लेकिन हिफ्स को बाकी रखने
It is easy to memorize, but in order to keep it strong, children, after completing the hifz, recite one juz or more daily. It is also common that for a period of 6 months, they recite 15 to 20 ajza to different teachers every day. It is done until the instructor is sure that the hafiz will not forget any part of the portion of the holy book. On the other hand, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said, which can be interpreted as, make sure that you do not neglect and forget the Quran. I swear by Allah, the swiftness with which a neglectful person may forget the Quran is faster than the speed at which an unattended camel disappears in the desert.
उसकी वजह यह है कि एक हाफिज जब रात की तरावी
Very reason for this is that when a hifz prepares the recitation of the Quran from memory in Ramadan night prayers, he takes extra care about the verses and words where he may struggle and forget. To avoid this or to minimize his mistake, he works harder and puts in more effort in memorizing and revising those parts.
मज़ीद याद करना है, इसको पक्का करना है ताकि तुम्हारी गलतियां ना हो या अगर हों तो कम से कम.
Almighty Allah has promised the high rewards not only for those who memorize the Quran, but for their parents also on the Day of Judgment.
हाफिज का मकाम और मर्तबा जैसे हुजूर अक़दस सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने अपनी
And respect that a hifz enjoys has been elaborated in Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sayings. Same goes for his or her parents. The Holy Prophet said, whoever lays foundation for people to perform good deeds and guides them towards righteousness, Allah has plenty of rewards for him or her.
तो हुजूर अक़दस सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाते हैं कि अल्लाह पाक उस अच्छाई का
The extent of reward that Allah bestows on the guide is same as that for the one who performs the good deed. It is the parents who grooms the children, takes their responsibility and fulfill it, show the desire that their child memorize the Quran.
कि वालिदैन ही होते हैं जो अपने बच्चे को स्पेयर करते हैं.
So if we see it in the light of the hadith mentioned earlier, we can say that the rewards Allah have for the parents of the memorizer and everyone who helps a person memorize the Quran are no different than that for the memorizer. In another hadith, the Holy Prophet said, Alif Lam Mim is not one word, it is a combination of 3 alphabets.
वो अल्लाह पाक उसको भी उतना ही सवाब अता फरमाएंगे. एक हदीस में आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाते हैं कि मैं ये नहीं कहता कि अलिफ लाम मीम एक हर्फ है, बल्कि ये 3 हुरूफ का मजमुआ है. अलिफ इलादा हर्फ है, लाम इलादा.
On recitation of every alphabet, Allah bestows the reciter with 10 rewards. Hence, just with the recitation of Alif Lam Mim, the reciter gets 30 rewards. Now just imagine, when a Hafiz memorizes the Quran by heart and revises it multiple times every day, how many blessings will he get? We cannot calculate those rewards, no matter how hard we try.
Quran is the source and foundation of all the sciences and disciplines. If Quran will persist, so will its teachings. If the teachings will persist, the Ummah will be protected from going astray.
Among all the scriptures and books of the world, it is only the Arabic text of the Quran that has this miraculous characteristic of being memorized by the believers from all the backgrounds and all the languages so perfectly that not a single word or letter is missing. in spite of the fact that majority of those who memorize are not Arabic speaking. No one should have doubt about the protection of the text of this book. This is the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only promised its protection, but has taken the responsibility of its protection on Himself.
तेरी वुसअतों का हिसाब क्या तू मुहीत आलम रंगो बू तू मुहीत आलम रंगो बू तेरी शान जल्ला जलालो मेरे रब कहाँ पे नहीं है तू तेरी शान जल्ला जलालो